And we're back, the No Filter Girls. But before we get into tonight's episode, I just want to thank all of you out there who watch us every single week and rock with your girl.
And share.
And share and like and comment.
Yes. We love the comments.
Yeah. And we
Especially when they're about TT.
All right, so to my far right, you know I'm Miss Nika. Then we have TT Pat, of course. Time to call and the cover it girl.
Yeah.
We're gonna kick it off with Grandmama tonight, y'all.
Grandmama.
So I ran across a really interesting status or post or something on Facebook. But it was really interesting. I'm gonna read it so that we can discuss. Hey, whatever happened to Grandmama? Grandmama ain't what she used to be. Grandma used to be 60. Now she's 37.
Hey.
She used to have gray hair. Now it's blonde and purple.
What?
She used to go to church every Sunday. Now she goes to clubs every Saturday. She used to give you a little change. Now she borrows money for newborns. She used to cook you the best meals. Now you get Hot Pocket and frozen Tony pizza. You used to call her Grandmama. Now you call her TT Pat. No wonder the world is falling apart. Come back, Grandmama. What y'all think?
Well, since you done did TT, I'm not in my 30s. However, I am in my 40s, and I am a grandmother.
But I think you hold.
I do, and I go to church every Sunday.
Yeah.
I do cook. I do not put frozen meals in the microwave and all that. I bake. TT Pat Sweet Cracks. Try me out. Once you try them, you will be hooked. Yes, but it do come a time where
You
children are. No, I do not smoke.
The grandmama smoke weed.
I don't smoke. And I don't get out there now. I will.
They know that kush, that purple stuff.
I see your hair now.
Blueberry kush.
My hair is black, and I probably got a gray string right here. You can't see it. I do wear blonde sometimes. However, it's not my own hair when I wear blonde. I'm not a ghetto fabulous grandmother. I do educate and raise. My grandchildren, back in the day, when, you know, like you said, back in the 60s and the 70s, you had the real grandmama, you had some real, they was out there. They raised the whole neighborhood. They helped, they watched your children. Nowadays, you are a grandmama at 37 and 40 some years old, and can't nobody say nothing to your grandchildren, let alone your child. I love my kids.
Well, at 37, she's still trying to kick it, right?
Yeah.
Right, she
And so,
now see, I think the mentality of people just have changed, especially within the newer generations. I know when one of my good friends had gotten pregnant, her mom was just like, okay, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be a grandmother. I didn't ask to be a grandmother. You know, you're getting ready to graduate. I'm getting ready to live my life. You know?
And I
think as each generation comes into play, the mentality is just so much different than the last generation. You know, it's all about me now.
Yeah.
It's not about family. It's not about my
self-serving
In conjunction with new media. I think a big part of it has to do with back then we were going through like segregation, lots of things that made us stick together.
Yeah.
So family was very, very important. And so like you said, you know, one grandmother could raise the entire block. Or we did go by that, it takes a village. But now that we are segregated, or so accomplished, and we feel like we're free, we feel like we're completely freed, that we just don't stick together.
don't want to be
anymore.
bombarded down.
Yeah.
Everybody want to be out the house.
Yeah.
I got school, I got to work out.
And it's always, that's your problem.
That's
That's your
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. I think too, with this generation, I think most of the 80s babies struggled. Their parents were likely, most of them, a lot of them were raised by grandparents. Because in the 80s, that's when you had drugs and crack, and, you know, that was heavy in our communities. So that really changed, you know, the dynamics of our families. So those children who are today your 30-year-olds, and then the 90s babies, and then, well, the 70s babies are your 30-year-olds and 40-year-olds who are now grandmothers. And I think that still has an impact on them because that further broke down the black men in the house. So grandma is still manless. Grandma still want to kick it. Grandma's like, hey, I'm done.
If they manless, I mean,
No. My grandmother said, my name to you is grandmother. She was
Oh,
very
okay.
proper.
That's
She was
it. Oh,
very
okay. I took
proper.
that wrong.
She was
Okay.
very proper. She was very prim. She was very pressed, you know.
Mhm.
And what? Grandma, that's slang. You know, and it's a big difference because now it's just like, now I gotta have a cool name. I gotta
Yeah.
It's grandma.
I don't do
It's some kind of cool.
I do grandma. I love to hear my granddaughter say, grandma. She be all this little grandma.
Here's a different perspective. We age bash, right? America age bash. When you get older, they like look at the celebrities. Oh my God, he looks so old. So is it that don't call me grandma because I don't want to be old. I don't want to seem old.
I don't mind.
Is it that?
That's exactly what
Some of
You
it
them.
know?
is for some of them.
Yeah, some of them.
But
A lot of the current grandmothers who like have to be hip and stuff probably were never raised by the grandma that you're talking about in there because
Yeah,
every
that's a good
family doesn't have that, you know, because like I know me personally,
Structure.
yeah, they don't have that structure. Like I lived with my great grandmother up until I was in college and she passed away. And my other great grandmother on my father's side is still alive. She's 100 years old.
Amen.
And we have a relationship. She know my kids. She know who I am.
That was so inappropriate.
Appropriate.
But a lot of people don't want to go down south to visit the older generation. You know, that they want to stay where they're at. But
That's true.
but like my family, we truly have a family bond. So we go down there, we see mother, and she know who she don't know my name, but she know that I am Steve's daughter because that's her favorite. But
What I'm saying is the grandmother at the age of 60 and 70 years old, I never got a chance to meet my grandmother at that age because she was already deceased. So that come bring it back to the point like where have the grandmothers gone? Some of them passed away. They didn't get a chance to meet their, their grandchildren. So that's a good point. We never got a chance to meet our grandmother. We got a chance to have a wonderful, long life with great grandmother.
Well, do you think that for the generations that was raised by the grandmothers that they didn't get a chance to have the grandmother because the grandmother had to be the mother and couldn't be a grandmother?
yeah, that's true. But like, I mean, 'cause
You
like,
know?
yeah, and they probably just weren't able to have that to be that role model.
Yeah.
Because I remember living with because I lived with my grandmother and my great grandmother and my parents, and so my great grandmother was the one I always went to when I wanted something. That's who I went to before I went to my grandma. So I was really close to her.
Hey, back
But
up,
my
child.
mom, one thing that she always tried to do is she tries to mirror my deceased grandmother, who was that grandmother who would put a little money in your hand when I came home from college. She'd give me a little money, or she'd say, baby, I ain't got much, but I got some change. I want you, baby, to buy you some snacks while you at school. Like, I think
My
about that.
great grandmother had a
and I
college
miss
fund
that.
set up for me. You
Yes.
really don't see that.
You
She
don't
had
see
college
that.
fund, death insurance. Like you don't really see people planning. For
Is it
Like,
because
my
grandma
mom-
is still
my mom
working
planned.
too though? Grandma's
I don't know
still
what-
working.
They are,
Not at
Because
home.
my
grandma just retired, and
she
she
had
was
those
overdue for
things
that.
set up in place when she was still working, and they weren't, big policies, just $3,000. But
Still.
Yeah.
back then in the '80s, to have a
Yeah.
policy like that set in place was pretty nice. And I'm looking
Which
at
is funny. Spike Lee said too that his grandmother
Yes.
paid for him to go to his
Go to
first
college.
university to college, right? So it's like
full
grandmothers had so much less, but we're doing
Yeah,
so
so
much
much
more,
more.
and we have so much more, and
do
I'm
less.
doing so much less with it.
Yes.
It's the mentality.
Grandmothers did. They had
keeping something from a past relationship. So check it out, Nika. You was dating boy X. You were in love. He gave you something valuable, maybe a piece of jewelry, or perhaps you kept a special picture. But then you and this guy break up. You're on to your new relationship. Somehow, this new guy finds out that you're keeping something valuable, and he wants you to get rid of it. But it means a lot to you. So what do?
Okay, so it means, how was the breakup? Because that was,
I'm trying to figure out why does it mean a lot to you?
it was a good breakup. But I know, sometimes you just part ways and be cool. Like, you know what, this ain't working out. We just walk
Well,
separate
regardless of how you broke up, you find this piece of whatever very valuable.
Worthwhile to keep.
And you don't, it's not that feelings are tied to it, you just find it valuable.
And what is considered valuable.
Right, then it's
Whatever it was, she kept it.
Yeah.
You kept a piece of jewelry, you kept a
Picture.
picture, and you. Well, okay, but I think that what
Boxers.
what would
That ain't valuable. That's a remembrance of shit.
I have some boxes from a previous relationship.
But look,
And my dad does have a problem with it, so I try not to keep it out in the open.
but look, they comfortable as hell. Wait, you wear them? I go jogging.
I wear them to sleep. I clean the house. They just comfortable as hell. When I want to be without, when I want to be without underwear, I put these on. They old as hell.
So they have no sentimental value.
None at all. Like if he really put it down and told me to throw them away, I'm gonna honor that. I'm gonna respect and throw them away. But low key,
I thought he told he don't like them.
you say he got a problem. He ain't say throw it away yet though.
Oh no, but you know he got a problem. Multiple boyfriends telling her to throw them away.
They're not the same. Cause look, he bought some Calvin Klein and they were supposed to be largest, but 2 were largest and the third pair was a medium. He gave me the medium and I ain't wear the motherfuckers yet cause they so damn tight. I said now either I'm too fat or he wearing his shit too small. Cause this shit is uncomfortable. They're not made. They're not made for a woman with curves. Right. They made for me. But these other boxes now they just loose. They old. They out of shape. I done washed them 1,001 times. They like shorts.
Wash it like
They like shorts.
Yeah, I feel it. Go ahead, boy. Go to the laundromat and take the kids to school. And
I walk the dog.
Your ass be sleeping on the couch.
You can't have them back, no.
but say it's like a Tiffany necklace or something that you really, really like.
Yeah, no, if it's something that I really, really like and there's no sentimental value, then I'm gonna keep it. I mean, if you got a problem with it, replace it.
Tiffany.
Look, I'm like,
If you replace it, I'll throw it away in front of your face. We can shred it, we can do it.
I think it'd be very sweet to say, you know what, baby? I see you like that too. Here's another one. Look, I upgrade you.
Amen.
Oh, yeah.
Give it to me.
What about a picture? Like you brought up.
I'm a picture person, so I feel
You
like
gotta keep those.
Keeping a picture.
Those are very sentimental. I don't.
it depends on what the picture is kept.
If it is a hidden picture, that's a problem.
Yes. If I were a guy, I would probably want you to get rid of that picture.
And why?
I just know how men are. They're very territorial.
Yes.
They're very dominant.
Yes.
And if you're there, they want to know you're there.
Yeah.
So if you holding on to a picture of an old dude,
I would get rid of it, but if you found it in 10 years, you know.
I mean, you can get rid of it.
I have prime pictures. So I'm keeping
Prom is
those.
a little different.
Keep it at your mama house.
That's
a good
They're not out in the open.
If it's a you and
keep
your
them at your
child
parents'
and her
house.
father, keep that. Prom, keep that. But just
Keep it at your
You all
parents'
at the
house.
movies.
No. Yeah.
Y'all lay on that bed.
I hear a lot of young ladies,
What?
and men do it as well, but it's majority is young ladies. They do it. They so fast to call my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law. Girl, who did your hair? My sister-in-law. Wait a minute. When did you and Jack get married?
Look, thank you till you make it.
You just been his girlfriend for a month. Okay, maybe you been in the family for 3 years, but you still ain't
I'm speaking it into existence.
That's what it is.
Right.
Read the word. Read the word. Read the word.
And I'm not mad at you if you speaking into existence. It sounds a little thirsty to me. I don't know your religious background, so
Me personally, I feel as though like, okay, I'm very short when it comes to names. So I might say, hey mama, mama dear, hey mama sweetie or something like that. But I'm not gonna call your brother, what's up brother-in-law? I'm not gonna say your sister, what's up sister-in-law? I'm not gonna introduce them as, we out and about, oh this is my sister-in-law. No, this is my boyfriend's girlfriend. Her name is so-and-so, right, whatever.
I don't even agree with meeting the family. Really.
Girl,
I I don't believe it. I mean, I'm in a relationship now, and I do it, but I really don't even agree with it. Like, you don't need to meet
do what?
my family. I don't need to meet your family. If we break up, then what? Now I got to
Right.
worry about.
And then you
Because I
gotta
feel
say
like your
it.
parents. I feel like your
Yeah.
people, and now I gotta.
So do you call your
Yeah,
boyfriend's
I agree.
mom?
No,
No.
I call
Now
them Miss Cotton.
And that I don't. That
You're
oh,
right.
I
It's a
can't.
lie.
But
You
then,
cannot cross it.
But then what if the mom does it though? What if the mom be like, hey, daughter-in-law?
That's
Hey,
You still call it that.
I mean, but you can still, because that has happened to me before, when I was dating my boyfriend, his mother called me, no, this my daughter-in-law.
Because she felt
But
we have
been
been to get married.
right, and we
But
have
she
been
was
together
speaking
for
in
like 4 or
existence.
5
Like, take him off my hands.
That's what that was.
Take him off.
So like I won't never tell her like, hey, don't call me your daughter-in-law, we ain't married. I'm just like, oh, okay, but his whole family called me. This my sister-in-law, this my, I just be like, okay.
Yeah, I said that.
I mean, you know, that's fine, but I mean,
I just never trusted.
you know what?
You know,
You
like,
know what?
like,
I can't.
not yet. And I don't know how long you were with him. Maybe you were with him long
Yeah, it was
enough.
for years.
Yes.
You
You
know,
know, when it's
but-
for years, but when it's when I like when they
Get
first
old,
meet,
though.
when they
The
first
mother.
meet,
They're
they're like, hey mom, hey mom, mom,
Yeah.
this mom.
Yeah.
Like, I just met you 2 days
Yeah,
ago.
exactly.
Right.
Like, I'm not. Mom is a term of endearment. You know, so I'm not like,
All tongue tied.
no, right? It's terrible. It's terrible.
It's terrible. It's misleading whether you been with them for 1 month or 3 years. You know, because if you begin to call me that, then I begin to think, and now you causing friction in my relationship. Because, hey, why we ain't married yet?
Right.
Because your
Right.
whole
That's
family
what I'm
looking at
saying.
you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, I
Yeah,
think
it
it's
would.
just-
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I mean, people use that term fiance very loosely too.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
this is my
Because you all
fiance.
have talked about
You go
marriage.
to the car dealership.
Yes.
Oh, we talked about marriage.
We're gonna get married. This is my fiance.
Yeah, don't give me any of those titles until it happens. And I'm not
Right.
claiming any of those titles because it just seems just thirsty. It just seems
It really
too
does.
much.
And I had come to a point where I was meeting way too many people who family members did not stay with. And I was like, look, don't introduce me to nobody else unless you jump in the room.
Yeah.
I'm meeting people for no good reason.
Right. Forming bonds and stuff, and now y'all done broke up. Like, hey,
Now what I'm supposed to do?
Well, I guess that concluded, ladies. You know, we would love to hear what you would like to say. Comment down below.